In this video, we'll be talking about the anatomy of excretory system. I know we have a lot of questions like how does urine forms and where does urine come from. So today, we're talking about the anatomy of excretory system, which is basically on the kidney. You understand? Now, before we move to that, what is anatomy first? Anatomy is the branch of morphology that is concerned with the internal structure of organisms and their parts. And we can also call it the branch of what? We can also call it the branch of natural science that deals with the structural organization of living things. Which means in anatomy, we'll be dealing with the internal structure and the organization of a particular organ in the body. You understand? And we have different branch of anatomy, but we can study anatomy on both macroscopic and microscopic level, which means we can study the biology and we can study the anatomy of vertebrates as well as invertebrates. And we also have other branches of anatomy such as comparative anatomy, surface anatomy, artistic anatomy, and so on. So today we'll be talking about one of the systems in our body, which is the excretory systems. We have different systems in our body. Remember that in the organization of life, we have the cellular level, which is the cells. We have the tissue. We have the what? The tissue. We have the organ. We have the systems. So we have the organisms, right? Organisms. And this is the what? This is the organization of life. Now, remember that tissue comes together to form what? To form organs, right? Now, organ comes together to form system. Some textbooks call it organ system. Which means if we're talking about excretory system, we'll be talking about some organs in what? In excretory system. You understand? We have different type of system. We have the nervous system, we have the circulatory system, we have the respiratory system, we have the endocrine system, we have the excretory system itself, we have the digestive systems, we have the muscular system, we have the skeletal systems, and this system work hand in hand to form what? To form an organism, to form a complete functional organism. And we'll be talking about in physiology, but today we're talking about the anatomy of a particular systems called what? Called excretory system. You understand? Excretory system. So that is what we'll be talking about today. Now, the excretory system is made up of what? It is made up of the kidney, the ureters, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. Let me mention that again. It is made up of the kidney, which is this, the ureter, which is this long tube, the urinary bladder, which is this like a pouch, and the ureter, which is this, the one that I mark in green. Look at it. The one that I mark in green. You understand? So we have what? Some acronym. Let us just acronym it. KUBU. That is the kidney, right? The ureter, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. Now, you have to know there is two difference. We have the ureter. We have the ureter, and we have the urethra. They are two different things. The ureter is the one that takes the urine away from the kidney. You understand? That takes it away from the kidney. This one that I mark. Now, the urethra is the one that takes it out of the body, either into the either from the penis or from the vagina of the female. You understand? That is what the urethra is. So, basically, what I just mentioned now is that we are studying the anatomy of the kidney and the anatomy of the excretory system, and the excretory system is made up of the what? It's made up of the kidney, the ureter, the bladder, let me say the bladder, and the urethra. So I acronym it into KUBU. You understand? So that's kidney, ureter, bladder, and the urethra. Now let us proceed. Now this is some cross section of the kidney. You understand? This is just a cross section of the kidney. Remember I told you that the kidney, we have the urethra, we have the urinary bladder, and we have the what? The urethra. That is what this one is showing. And we have a gland that is sitting on top of the kidney called the adrenal gland. And this adrenal gland is separated from the kidney by a fat known as perinephric fat. You understand? That fat is known as perinephric fat. We'll be talking about that when we get to histology. You understand? But for now, we want to talk about the anatomy of the excretory system, which means the anatomy of the what? The anatomy of the kidney. That is what we are concerned with today. You understand? Now, let us now move um to the cross section on labeled kidney. You understand? So first thing you have to notice that a kidney is being shaped. It is being shaped. It has a convex lateral surface, a concave medial surface, as well as superior and inferior pole. It has superior, which is up, and inferior pole. You understand? And the basic function of the kidney is to clear waste. Let me just write that here. Is to clear waste, maintain the pH of the blood by excreting some things that can actually make the blood to be acidic or basic. You understand? The control of electrolytes in the blood, and the extracellular extracellular fluid volume. You understand? Extracellular fluid volume. So those are the what? Those are the function of the kidney. You understand? Now, let me now move to the structure of the kidney itself. Now, this is a kidney. This is a typical kidney. Now, the kidney is made up of the outer layer. Now, let me mark that one in black. Look at this outer layer. It is called the what? It is called the renal capsule. The renal what? The renal capsule. Whenever you hear the word renal, we are referring to what? We are referring to kidney. You understand? Whenever you hear the word renal, we are referring to what? Kidney. So I'll be using a pointer in this. I won't be using. So this is what? This is the renal capsule. You understand? Can you see it? The one that I'm marking at this point, at this outside, as the renal capsule. Now, the kidney is now divided into two parts. You understand? That is the renal cortex and the renal medulla. I repeat, the renal cortex and the renal medulla. Now, the renal cortex is the outer granulated tissue deep inside the what? Look at it. This is it. Can you see this place? This place that I'm marking. See, that runs all the way down here. Can you see them? The one that runs all the way down here, that's the what? That's the renal cortex. Can you see it? That's the renal cortex. And inside the cortex is a nice little dark structure called the renal medulla, and it is appearing like a pyramid. Look at it. This is the renal medulla. This one here, this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. Those are the what? Those are the renal medulla. Can you see? And one thing you have to notice is that this renal cortex is appearing to be granulated, while this renal medulla is appearing to be striated. You understand? I'll be talking about that when we go to histology. We'll be talking about the tissue that they are made up of that makes their appearance to be like this. Now, what have I said so far? I've talked about the what? The renal cortex. Let me represent that with RCO, renal cortex, and the what? The renal medulla. Can you see? The renal medulla. Now, those are the three parts that is made up of: the renal capsule, the renal cortex, and the renal medulla. Right? Now, let me just clean this and this. Now, let us proceed. Remember, I've showed you where the cortex is. This is the capsule outside, this is the cortex, and this is the medulla, right? Now, if you notice very well, the medulla, it appears like a pyramid. Look at it. It appears like a pyramid. So we can also call it a renal pyramid. So if you see me calling it renal pyramid, don't be what? Don't be confused. So this is the renal medulla appearing like a what? Appearing like a pyramid. Look at it. This is one pyramid. This is another pyramid. This is another pyramid. This is another pyramid. You understand? So if you see me calling it renal pyramid, don't be confused. It's the same thing as what? It's the same thing as renal medulla. So let me just clean that off so that it won't cause confusion. Hope you are getting this. Let me zoom it in well. Now, so this is it. Can you see? That is the renal medulla. Now, if you notice very well, there is an inward extension of the cortex. There is an what? Inward extension of the cortex. Look at it. This one is coming from the cortex. Can you see? It now extend down into the medulla. Can you see it? It extend down into the medulla. It is also here. Look at it. It's also here, and it is almost everywhere. So the deep extension into the medulla from the cortex is known as the columns. You understand? We call it the columns. I get me now. Now that is that on that. Now at the end of the renal pyramid. At the end of the renal pyramid, we have what we know as the renal papillae. The renal papilla, I'll be showing that renal papilla when we get to the cross section of the what of the renal pyramid itself. But let me just take that one as this one. Understand? Let me just take that as this one. So at least at this end, look at it. At the end of this place, we have the papilla. At the end of this place, we have the papilla. At the end of this place, we have the what? We have the papilla. Now, each papilla now extend. You understand? They extend into what we know as calyx. The singular is calyx. The plural is calyces. Calyces. So inside, look at it. This one calyx, this under 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 calyx. Can you see? These are the renal papilla extend into the what? Into the calyx. You understand? So different calyx now comes together. These are minor calyx. They call it minor calyx. You understand? This is minor calyx, minor calyx, minor calyx, minor calyx, minor calyx. You understand? They now all come together to form one major calyx. You understand? So many minor calyces comes together to form one major calyx. Look at it. This is a major calyx. Can you see? This is a major calyx. Can you see that all of them comes together to form one major calyx? You understand? Now, the calyx now extend outside to form the what? To form the pelvis. So this is the pelvis somewhere around here. Look at it. This is the pelvis. Can you see it? And to the what? To the ureter. Can you see it? So we can say this is the what? This is the major calyx. This is the what? This is the pelvis. Sorry, let me clean that. This is the what? This is the pelvis, and this is the ureter. Can you see? Now that is that on that. Now what have I said so far? I've described what? I've described the what? The renal capsule, the cortex, the medulla, also known as renal pyramid, the renal papillae, that's at the end of each pyramid, right? The renal column that extend inward extension from the what? From the cortex to the medulla, and the calyx, the calyces that comes together to form major calyx. Abi? Now, this major calyx now extend into the pelvis into the what? Into the ureter. You understand? So these are the things that we have here. I get me now. So the minor, small minor calyx form a big structure known as major calyx and this. Now, if you notice very well, we now have a blood capillary. This is a blood capillary. Can you see? A blood capillary. We now have two. We have the renal artery. We have the renal vein. Remember I told you that whenever you hear the word renal, we are talking about what? We are talking about kidney. So we have the renal artery and we have the renal vein. Now, this artery and the vein, as well as the pelvis, all of them arises from a place known as renal hilus. It's different from renal sinus. I will tell you about that. I will tell you about renal sinus later. Look at this. This, you can't see it, but there is a hole at which this one comes from. At this, the hole at which the blood capillary and blood vessels as well as the pelvis enters into the kidney is known as what? Is known as renal hilus. Let me write that somewhere. Renal what? Renal. That is called renal hilus. Right? Now, you now see this big structure. Look at this big structure. That the calyx, the major calyx, the minor calyx, the blood vessel, the pelvis, the urethra, all of them arises from is now known as renal sinus. You understand? But inside the renal hilux, we have only the what? We have only the blood vessel and the pelvis You understand? But inside the renal sinus, we have everything. NUS, SINUS, we have everything. You understand? Which means even the renal hilus is inside the what? Is inside the renal sinus. You understand? So renal sinus is a big structure that houses everything. You understand? So that is what we mean by that. Now, let me just clean this so that it will be clearer. I hope you're getting me. Now, let us move to the artery. Remember I told you that we have what? We have the artery. Now, look at it. Let me zoom it in. So, we're having something like this. So we have two. We have, did not show it here, but we have the renal artery and we have the renal vein. You understand? We have the renal artery and we have the renal vein. Renal artery is the one that's take the blood inside the kidney, and the renal vein is the one that takes the blood outside of the kidney. You understand? Now, remember I told you that the function of the kidney is to filtrate, is to filter, to remove waste product from the blood. Now, this is the renal artery. Look at it. This is the renal artery. It's the one that is coming like this. Now, if you notice very well, as the renal artery enters into the kidney, it forms a segment. It separates into different parts. Can you see? Then renal artery becomes segmental arteries. You understand? It becomes what? Segmental arteries. Can you see it? Now, the segmental arteries, if you notice very well, this is one segmental artery, this is another segmental artery, this is another segmental artery, this is another segmental artery. Can you see? They are now, look at this segmental artery. Can you see that it enters? Can you see that it enters in between the renal pyramid? Can you see? It enters in between two renal pyramid. So it is by side of the renal pyramid. You understand? So we call it interlobar arteries. You understand? We call it what? We call it interlobar artery. What's a lobe? A lobe is just the renal pyramid and its surrounding cortical tissue. You understand? So you have one renal pyramid like this and the surrounding cortical tissues. So what is between this lobe and this lobe is what we know as interlobar arteries. You understand? Now, so this is renal artery, this is segmental arteries, this is interlobar artery. You understand? This is also interlobar artery, this is also interlobar artery. Can you see it? Now, this interlobar artery now runs between what? This interlobar artery now runs between two renal lobes, like I mentioned. Now, it is now going to move up. Now, it is now going to what? It is now going to move up. Can you see it? It's now going to move on to form a branches. Can you see? It forms a branch. Can you see it? It forms a branch. It forms a branch. It forms a branch. Now, these branches are known as arcuate arteries. I get me now. They are known as what? Arcuate arteries. Now, as all of them are now moving up, can you see? This is one arcuate artery. This is another arcuate artery. This is another arcuate artery. This is another arcuate artery. As all of them are now moving up, they will give off branches as well. You understand? They give off what? They give off branches. These branches are known as cortical radiated artery. You understand? Cortical radiated artery. Now, see this cortical radiated artery. Let me zoom it in well. Let me zoom it in. So this is what? This is a cortical radiated artery. Look at it. This is a cortical radiated artery. This is a cortical radiated artery. I will now show you when we get to the cross section of the renal pyramid. I will show you. But this radiated artery now have what we know as arterioles. We now have two types of arteriole. We have the afferent arteriole, we have the efferent arterioles. You understand? And this afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole, they enters into the glomerulus. I will be showing you that one later in the next video. Now look at it. This is a radiated artery. You understand? It's have what? It has an arteriole. And I say we have two types of arteriole. We have the afferent arteriole and we have the efferent arteriole. Now, let me go back to what we have said so far. We mentioned this one as the renal capsule. The outer one that looks granulated is mentioned as what? Is mentioned as the renal cortex. The inner one that looks striated is mentioned as the renal medulla, also known as what? Also known as the renal pyramid, right? Now, the renal pyramid, at the bottom of the renal pyramid, we have what? We have the renal papillae, right? Now, the renal papillae now extend. It extend into the what? Into the minor calyx. Minor calyces. You understand? Because we have many of minor calyx. Can you see? We have many minor calyx. Now, these minor calyx, all of them now extend into the what? Into the major calyx. The major calyx extend into the pelvis into the urethra. So that is the first thing I will talk about. I will talk about the what? Talk about the blood vessels. I will say this is a blood vessel, right? This is the renal artery. The renal artery give off a segmental arteries. You understand? The segmental arteries. And the segmental arteries now extend to give interlobar artery. That is the artery between lobes. Artery between what? Between renal pyramid. This interlobar artery give rise to what we know as the arcuate artery, right? And we said the arcuate arteries also move up and form a branches known as cortical radiated artery. You understand? And this cortical radiated artery now have what? Have the arterioles, and we have two type of arteriole. We have the afferent arteriole as well as the efferent arteriole. So that will be all for this video. In the next video, we'll be talking about a section of what? A section of in a renal medulla. I'll be talking about how urine is formed. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, or you drop it in the comment section, and I'll make sure that I reply your messages. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for more.